So first thing from an efficiency standpoint, my 3 or 4 favorite efficiency metrics, right? Average handle time, occupancy, service level, and something that we don't think about too much, but it kind of ties in is your abandoned percentage. But I think really the first 3 are the most important. So number 1 is let's talk about service level, right? And then for those of you who maybe are new to this, so service level is basically the percentage of calls that we're answering within a specific period of time. So again, we always, I don't know why we always get into arguments over this metric, but every call center is a little bit different. But on average, I believe for most contact centers, we are using an 80-30 service level, meaning we want 80% of the calls answered within 30 seconds or less. Now, if you go white glove service, or some type of, people talk about 2 rings or 3 rings, those type of things, you could be at a 90-10, 90% answered within 10 seconds or less. It's a different level of efficiency. In fact, it lowers your efficiency because you have to have people available if you're going to make sure that you're answering calls, that quick. So 80%, I think, gives you a little bit of leeway. If you have some availability, it's going to help. If you have people that are going to wait, it's not going to kill you for the day, right, for your service level. But I think that gives you, what we have found is most of those metrics equal out. If you do an 80-30, it equals out to the occupancy, which is the next metric, which is occupancy is the percentage of time that your reps are in a working state. I include after call work in that. Some organizations do not include. So basically what we're saying is the amount of time from when they answer the call, take care of the customer, are in after call work, right? And when they go back available. So if we take all that working time, I like to have my reps, and I think what is fair is to have a 70 to 75% occupancy, which basically means right around that 40-45 minutes out of the hour they're in a working state, in 15 minutes out of the hour, right, they are kind of in an available state, or they can kind of take a breath. Now, why after call work gets a little bit weird with that, right, is because if you are not kind of mandating after call work or automatically having reps go back available after a certain period of time, it can be taken advantage of, right? So if you have reps that are taking extra long after call work, that can kind of skew your occupancy number if you're including that. For most of our stuff, if there's not some long memos, we are 30 seconds and then having our reps go back, automatically go back available. So those kind of things. And again, I guess every efficiency metric kind of ties into the other efficiency metrics, right? So we have our service level. We know kind of what we want. We have our occupancy, where we're making sure that we're not, number one, that we're being efficient with our reps' time, but we're also not burning them out either, right? We don't want them talking 57 minutes out of 60, right? Or in a working state. I think that's too much. And you're going to have high attrition and people are going to be miserable, right? The other, one kind of too is we talk about abandonment rate. I see this with different customer bases, right? And it's almost like there's an art and science to this. So each different client base for us or customer base for you guys, we'll have different kind of thresholds for how long they're willing to wait. You've heard me talk about analytics a lot with this, right? That we can actually check sentiment scores based on the amount of time that customers are in queue, and we can start to see when they start to get ticked off, right? So again, if you cannot afford to staff at a level at an 80-30, right? That's one of the ways that you can look to say, well, maybe I don't need an 80-30 because my customers will stay on hold. They will not abandon up to 1 minute 37 seconds, right? So maybe you want to do, kind of an 80 minute 37 seconds, right? Or how many seconds that is. We've done that, and we're doing that currently in our call center, which I think is a really cool kind of way to use analytics as well. You've heard me talk about that a ton.